I've recently bought all this new makeup, so we're gonna try it all on. Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Iga, I'm 27. This is my little corner on the internet. Today, yes, we're playing with some makeup. I have recently gone on a little bit of an impulsive makeup shop because I haven't done that in a while. And sometimes there's nothing better than some retail therapy, so that's where it came from. I've already prepped my skin. I've used the Lacura Q10 Renew Anti-Wrinkle Eye Cream under my eyes. I also used the Potion Glow Watermelon Elixir Radiance Face Cream, Hydrate Glow Face Cream. If we can zoom, there we go. I have a few new things that I want to try. Starting off with, this is the Eveline Cosmetics, as we call it where I'm from, Ewelina Kosmetyczna. This is the Korean-inspired celebrity skin all-day makeup lock liquid miracle priming and setting mist skincare technology. And it has the Prindle, aka the PDRN, whatever that is, rice milk, Centella Asiatica, and ceramides in it. So it is quite perfumey, I will say, but let's prep our skin and see if it helps with the priming, if it helps with the skin. I don't know, I just work here. I mostly just wanted to see what it feels like on the face. I do have another primer I want to try, but this one smells nice. And I really like the packaging. It's like a nice maroon colour. I'm a fan. But it does really smell perfumey, so if you're not a fan of that, it might not be for you. It feels kind of fresh, it dries quite quickly, and it's a really fine mist, which sometimes is kind of hard to find in drugstore product. For my primer today, I'm going to use the Essence Jelly Grip Hydrating Primer, because I've tried the e.l.f. one, and it just was not for me, but maybe this one has a slightly different consistency and maybe I will like it a little bit more. If it works, that is. Oh, it does come out. It does come out. Okay, let's see. I do find that my makeup could stay longer, and I am trying out some new methods to see how I can maybe improve the longevity of my makeup. I've been watching a lot of makeup beauty guru people on TikTok. And I still watch some people on YouTube that I've been watching for actually probably decades at this point. It's so nostalgic to also have that on YouTube, and I've been really enjoying it. And I think I want to try some of their tips and tricks. I've been watching a lot of Shelby Ann, and I do really like her, and she's a professional makeup artist, so I do trust her, and her makeup does look flawless. So people have been doing this to see if like it's sticking. Oh, maybe I don't have the bone structure, but it is actually legitimately sticking, so. For foundation, I am going to use the Maybelline Superstay 30-Hour Lumi-Matte Foundation. I have been trying this. I've been using it for the last couple of weeks, on and off with another foundation. So it's not new to me. And by all means, none of these are like new releases. They're just new things to me. Or maybe they are new releases. I didn't check that, to be honest with you. But I want to try this in combination with a new sponge. My cousin swears by this sponge and she uses it for her foundation, and she says you don't have to wet it. So I'm going to see how that is with this, because I have used this with my regular beauty sponge, and so I know what that looks like. So maybe we can find a new sponge. I've seen some people do like 8 pumps on their face. I don't actually normally put it straight on my face. I'm more of a on the finger kind of gal. Why does that sound wrong? And I do think maybe 8 pumps might be a bit too much for me, but I don't know. I will be trying that eventually, just because I want to see. I want to improve my makeup stuff, you know, and I haven't tried new techniques in a long time. I've kind of been doing the same thing for a very long time, so. But let's see how this sponge performs. I won't lie to you. I do sometimes use my sponge dry because honestly sometimes I just can't be bothered to go and wet it. So if this is any better than that, we're already doing improvement. But so far it looks really nice. I feel like a 90s mum. Is that a bit better? I just realized that I had a purple background on one of my screens which are in front of me and in fact on, and that might have been reflecting it. I do feel like I look like a ghost, even though that is probably my shade of foundation. Maybe I could go a shade darker, if I'm honest with you, because it is summer, but fear not, we will warm this up. I feel like it looks worse in a viewfinder than it does in real life. I do like it. I feel like it's a lot drier than it usually is with my other sponge. Like I feel like it soaks up a lot more, and I am putting on less at once, but at the same time I feel like the coverage is pretty good. I don't have like a super even skin tone, by the way, and I do have like a weird thing on my eye here. Don't know what that is. It came out like yesterday, so. But yeah, no, I do think this shade is a bit light for me. Which one is that? What shade is this? It is the, what shade is this? 16Z901. But I also am pretty sure they didn't have any testers, so I just kind of went for this one. But it's okay. We'll warm it up with other stuff. The actual foundation I think is really lovely and it wears pretty well. And I do kind of like the sponge. I'm gonna have to try it out with maybe different foundations as well to see how it performs. But I don't hate it. It does make the base look really smooth. Okay, it looks pretty smooth, I think. You can have a look. Again, let's ignore the shade because the shade might not be for me. And I feel like it looks way more subtle in real life than it does on camera. So let's move on to concealer. And for concealer, I'm going to use the Catrice True Skin High Cover Concealer, Hyaluronic Acid Waterproof 18-hour hydrating concealer apparently. I have heard about Catrice for years. One of my favorite YouTubers, shout out Jessica Braun, I love your videos and have for years. I'm pretty sure she uses one of the concealers. I'm not sure if it's exactly this one, but this one sounded good, so I wanted to try it. And I'm so happy to live in a country now that has it available, I guess. Although I have lost some other bits, so fear not. I have plugs. I'm just gonna put it under my eyes. I feel like this might be darker than that foundation? Question mark? Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. No, I think it might be the same. I'm gonna let it dry a bit, but then I'm going to use this little beauty sponge. Again, it's kind of funky. I kind of like that it's just on my finger. And also it doesn't look that disgusting because it's already beige, so it doesn't look gross after my makeup's already on it. Where I feel sometimes, especially the colourful beauty sponges, can be a little bit disgusting after a while. Even if you wash them, they just stain. I'm gonna start with my eyelids. This is really awkward. Trying to do that without doing the under eye. Because normally I start with the under eye. When using new concealers, you just kind of never know how much you should use. They're so new to you. I do have decently prominent under eyes, I would say. So, you know, my lack of sleep doesn't help. But a good concealer can always help. I'm very true to the Maybelline Age Reverse one. I really like that one. I like some of the L'Oreal ones. I think actually Rimmel had one that was quite good as well. So there's a few that I've kind of circled around recently. There's an Essence one I want to try. But like I say, I do have some that I am very truthful to. And that goes for most products. So let me know if you'd like to see a video of me talking about my like all-time favorite beauty products. Because I have been doing my own makeup and just dabbling in beauty for the last like 12 years or so. And so I could definitely tell you some of my all-time favorite. And yes, I do have a weird little bugger under my chin and it's awfully annoying. Next I'm going to do some blush, and I'm going to use the Rare Beauty blush in the color Resilience. This is not new to me. I've been doing this for a little bit. It is a newer thing that I do have, but it's not my kind of first impression. But yeah, I decided to treat myself. It is such a beautiful color. Luckily they did have some more of them because they were out on display when I was trying to buy it. It's just such a beautiful color. I wanted to try something a little bit darker because really I wanted to try Velvet Teddy because everyone's been raving about it and I wanted to see what the hype was about, but they don't have that available in Poland. So I've decided to just go for it and get something from Rare because I've heard great stuff, and honestly I want more shades. It is so beautiful. Just could not recommend it enough. And I am also going to use this sponge for this. I really should use maybe like a brush. I have never tried it with a brush actually. Maybe I will use a brush. I don't know if that's gonna work, if I'm honest with you. I don't want to mess up my makeup underneath, but I don't feel like this is doing much in comparisons to whenever I normally use the sponge. I feel like it looks really unblended on camera. I'm gonna use the sponge. Here's to trying, eh? Yeah, it looks really uneven on camera. It looks fine in real life. It just looks wrong on camera. I don't know why. Maybe I should put some more on. I don't want to put too much on because it is really pigmented. I promise you it looks good in real life, and we're not done yet, so it's still salvageable. I'm going to move on to bronzer. And for cream bronzer, I'm going to use the Essence Baby Got Bronze. I always want to say Baby's Got Back. Take from that what you will. This is just a little cutie bronzer. I don't know if it's going to be any good on me. I don't know if it's a good shade. It should be fine. I'm just going to go straight in with it. I realized I just didn't finish my sentence just now. And we're really going to put that sponge to the test today because I'm blending everything out with it. I'm also not very versed in cream bronzer, if I'm honest with you. I don't use it often, but I'm trying to, because I'm trying to make my makeup last longer, and apparently if you start mixing creams and powders together, it might last longer. I don't do much talking when I'm blending, honestly. I'm trying to concentrate on not looking muddy and patchy and all that jazz. See, for this sponge is not really doing what I want it to do. I feel like that's a lot, and I also feel like, is that hair? Like it's gone too down this way, so I'm trying to pull it up a bit. I don't necessarily need to do it on my forehead if I'm honest with you, but I will anyways. Let's contour my nose a little. I don't do that every time actually. It's the first time in a while I've decided to contour my nose. Well, I'm trying not only new products today, but also weirdly new techniques. This is okay. So I am going to actually spray myself before I powder, and then I'm gonna spray at the end, but that's kind of what I do, and I feel like it helps the longevity of my makeup in the end, so. I've also lost all my fans, so I've been using a Maroon 5 CD to fan myself, but if it works, and it does. Also a superior album, Songs About Jane. Barely any skips, so good. For powder, I'm going to use their Wibo Photo Ready Loose Powder. Again, this is not one of the new products, but I'm going to use it because this is the loose powder I am currently using. I'm going to use a different little sponge to apply that under my eyes and everywhere else before dusting. I've seen people do this where they kind of put the excess on their hand and then go in with it under their eyes, and maybe that will be the way to do it. Maybe that won't be too much, because sometimes I find if I like bake like this under my eyes, it just looks odd. I'm going to also just kind of dust off any excess that I might have on here. And I feel like that kind of made it look a little less crazy on my face, all the bronzer and stuff. And the next couple of things aren't the new things that we're trying, but I'm going to go in with them just to finish off my face. First of all, I'm going to use the Essence bronzer to set the rest of my bronzer. For blush, I'm going to mix these two shades from this Revolution palette. And for highlight, I'm going to use this Becca highlighter in the shade Moonstone. I've had this highlighter for years and I love it, and I don't know what I'm going to do when I run out of it because I don't think they sell it anymore. I'm gonna have to go on a hunt. I'm also gonna add a little bit on my inner corner just to brighten it up a little bit. Next, we're gonna do my brows, and I'm gonna use the Wibo Color Brow Gel. It doesn't have a shade name, but it's the brown one. And what really shocked me when I opened this for the first time is the fact that it looks like a regular mascara, but it has the tiniest, look, hello, the tiniest little brush ever, and that just made me giggle. That just made me giggle. I'm going to use this to kind of tame and slightly fill in my brows. I've stopped doing my brows, like filling them in, about a year ago, purely out of laziness, and now I just swear by colored brow gels, and they do the job for me because my brows are decently defined. I have a decent shape, and I don't really need to fill them in unless I want to, or unless I'm doing something super heavy with my makeup, I guess, in which case it would probably help to have them filled in. I am true to the Essence one. I've been using that one for years, and that one has like little hair fibers in it as well, which I love. With this one, I do feel like it's as pigmented as my Essence one, but it's definitely feels gluier. It definitely feels more jelly, if that makes sense. Like I feel like it's moving the hairs more into place rather than just filling them in, and I can feel it dry as well. So maybe it has a different benefit, and so maybe two of them together would be a good combo. I don't have any new eyeshadows, so for my eyeshadow I'm just going to use this little quad from Revolution, which I love. What is it called? It's called Mini Chew Icon, and I love this. It has one cream shade, which I never gravitate to, but it also has like a transition shade, a darker shade, and a shimmer, and it's just perfect. It's really good for travel. And I really like the colors in them because they're kind of rosy. It's like a rosy brown neutral palette. Don't know how else to describe that, if I'm honest with you. This is what they look like. This is not that orange. This is more of a brown, and this is definitely like a nice rosy transition shade. Now, if you're new here, you probably don't know this, but if you know it, you know this is time for winged liner, and I love winged liner. I have loved wing liner for many, many years. Today I have two to try, but I'm going to choose just one for the sake of this video. I have the Essence Eyeliner Pen right here, and I have the Maybelline Tattoo Liner ink pen, which I'm actually going to try because I've never tried a Maybelline eyeliner. So today's the day. I have been obsessed with winged liner since I was like 15. I've been doing it on myself for that long, and I am 28 this year. It has truly been a game changer for me, I think, in the way that I like to see my face. I really love the eyeliner. I think it suits my face, and which is why I've been doing it for as long as I have been. And so I've been on a hunt for another good liner for ages. There are a few that I'm true to, but there are also a lot of awful ones there, and I could honestly make a whole video about that, and I just might. So let's try this one. I will say it has the kind of tip that I do like. It is more of a brush than it is like a sponge. Some of them have a sponge, and as good as they can be at the beginning, they get awful towards the end because the product just dries in them, and you just can't do a winged liner anymore because it just doesn't give you the right amount of products. It doesn't work. It wipes some products off, and it's really irritating. And that's the one I'm currently using, which is why I'm finding a new one. This is very similar from what I'm seeing so far to the NYX one. The brush is very similar, and I love that one. We'll see if maybe this one lasts a little bit longer because the NYX one tends to move, and if you've used the NYX one for a long time, you will know when it starts to. When you've had it for a while, it will do this thing where it will just start bleeding product. And then sometimes you'll go and do your eyeliner, and suddenly you'll end up with a totally black eyelid. Not eyelid, just the inside of your eye, because some ink will go in there. It doesn't hurt or anything, but it's just annoying to clean, especially if you're in a rush. Yeah, this one so far, no complaints. Good brush, good color. It's nice and pigmented, easy to work with. The bristles so far have not been transferring or anything, which can sometimes also be an issue with these kinds of ones. I'm definitely gonna have to wipe some of that off. That is not looking cute. Let me salvage this first. If you ever struggle doing eyeliner, honestly, sometimes it's okay to just get a makeup wipe, some micellar water on a cotton bud, and fix it. It's fine. Easily salvageable. No need to be frustrated. I know that sometimes that is just the case because it catches you at a bad moment, for example, but it can be fixed. No need to panic. And even after so many years of doing it, I still do it that way. I still sometimes have days where I just either can't match them. Like, for example, this one's a little bit chunkier than this one. This one's a little bit longer. But do you know what? If anyone's looking that closely at you, they need to back the fuck off. That's the honest truth. If you're looking so closely at me that you can see that my eyeliner is not perfectly symmetrical, back the fuck away from me. Honestly, I think this looks good. I'm not gonna be fucking around with it anymore, because I just know that if I do, I'm gonna mess one of them up. And they look perfectly fine, I think. Are they perfect? Probably not. But when are they ever? And are we ever looking that closely at people? And if we are, we shouldn't. What do we have to do if we look that closely? Repeat after me. Back the fuck away. Yes. Yes. Thank you. Next up, we have mascara. And actually, I have two products to try. One of them is a eyelash serum, which can kind of act as a base. Let me just read it. It is a base. It has it's like a rebuilding serum, and it activates lash growth as well. So I'm going to put that underneath it. And then for the actual mascara, they're both from Eveline Cosmetics. Miss Evelina's making a comeback into our lives, and this is their Variete Lash Show mascara in black. I didn't go for the waterproof because sometimes I find those to be a bitch to take off, and I don't have the time for that, honestly. So I'm going to use those two, and eyelash curler. I need to get a new thingy for my eyelash curler, or at least clean this one because it's a little bit grim. And I really like this eyelash curler. I don't want to just get a new one. Start with the serum, the brush. Can you see it? I don't know if it's focusing on my hand or on this. It has a bit of a white cast, which I kind of expected as a mascara base. It's pretty standard. I more bought it for the lash grow benefits because I could really use that. This is the brush on the other mascara. I like the packaging. I hope the actual mascara is good as well. Okay, first impression, I don't hate it, but I think I need to let it dry a little bit. Both on my eyes and just as a mascara. I prefer my mascaras a little bit drier. I think they coat the lashes a little bit better. So I'm just gonna give them a moment to dry. I did too much, I think. Oh, I did too much. Hold on. This is too much. This keeps getting worse and keeps trying to salvage it, and it keeps getting worse. The worst part is it's only on one side. Okay, I'm going to try to salvage my lashes using the Essence Lash Princess, because the other one, and I don't know if it's the silicone sponge or what it was, with every swipe just kept clumping, and I do not like a clumpy mascara. So I'm gonna have to give it a try another day, because I think I just genuinely tried to put too much on, and that's why that happened. I'm gonna do one more swipe with this. Yeah, it's not very good at separating the lashes, and I think that's where my issue lies, because I enjoy a separated lash. These are, I'm not gonna lie, they're a little bit clumpy for my liking, but it might be user error, so maybe take it with a pinch of salt. We'll move on to lips, and for lips I'm going to use a lip liner that I've had for a while, which is the Rimmel London Lasting Finish lip liner in the shade, what is the shade? Spice. And this is a newer product to me. I have had it for a little while, and I'm pretty sure it's a dupe for the Maybelline, or it works in the same way as the Maybelline ink lips. I think that's what they're called. Is the Eveline Vinyl Lip Liquid. Yeah, so it's shake, apply and wait, and it is pretty long lasting, and I have it in the shade 08 Honey, and it's like a nice mauvey nude, and I like that kind of color. I really need to sharpen this, but am I gonna do that right now? No. I really just put the lip liner all over my lips just now. Kind of went crazy. I could just leave it like that, but here we are. I like this lip because I really like the color. Although I will say be careful because sometimes it ends up on my teeth. But I really like the color, and it is really long lasting. And that is it for my makeup. Oh, I am forgetting one more thing, which is the spray. Let's spray my face one last time to set it. Where's Marine 5? This is what my face looks like up close. So far, when it comes to this and this, all I can say is that it does make my face doesn't look too cakey, but obviously that might also be a thing that's said with time. So these I'm gonna have to come back with, or maybe I'll leave an annotation to see what it looked like after a few hours. But I definitely find that this was way less sticky than the e.l.f. one. And I mean that as a benefit, because I didn't really like the e.l.f. one and I always felt like it broke me out. So maybe this one won't break me out and I can actually have a grippy primer that I like. The foundation I do like. I think it's a little bit too light for me, but we salvaged it, it's fine. The e.l.f. bronzer, I'm not really sure. I think it might be a little bit patchy, like there's some weirdness going on here from what I'm seeing. But maybe I just need to play around with it because it might be user error thing rather than this. This is just my first impression. So far, it just didn't wow me. The concealer, I think, was definitely the right shade. It has nice coverage. So far, there's not really much. Like, you can see up close. It looks quite nice. It doesn't look too cakey. It was a good shade, and I'm pretty sure they have a decent shade range. And it's affordable, so for me, that is a win thus far. These two in combination, weird. I think maybe this clumped up my lashes because it's a silicone wand. The actual color of the mascara is lovely. We'll see how it wears. But yeah, I think I need to play around with it a little bit more, and maybe I'll talk about it in another video. Or it just is a little bit too clumpy, or it's just too wet. So again, upon first impression, mixed reviews. The brow gel, I'm actually very pleasantly surprised about. It's definitely different than what I'm used to with the Essence one, but I can feel the hold, I can feel the gel, and I think my brows look really nice. Like, it gave them a little bit more color and it tamed them a little bit, and they do seem like they're gonna stay where they are for the rest of the day. So that's a product I like. And Wibo is a Polish brand as well. Also, let me know if you'd like to see a full video of me using just Polish brands, because I think that would be quite cool. But that I'm pleasantly surprised about. I would recommend this. The sponge for the foundation, definitely a yes. For the blush and for the bronzer, probably a no. But I do think for the foundation, it was really lovely. And I think I'm not missing anything other than the eyeliner. The eyeliner I'm really, really surprised about. I was expecting like a sponge. It was a brush, which is to its benefit. The ink is actually really nice. It's really easy to work with. I will say it does dry quite quickly, but that might be because it is like long lasting, so it might just be setting quickly. But it is quite easy to work with. The dryness is not really an issue if you do it regularly. I think maybe if you're a person who does it less often or doesn't have that kind of, you know, muscle memory to do it, it might be a little bit too dry and too quickly for you. However, overall, I would recommend it. I think it's really nice so far. We'll see how it wears, but so far so good. It was easy to use. It was the right brush because it won't dry on you. And yeah, I think it looks really nice. And to conclude, I think I got a decent face of makeup out of that, and I'm going to go ahead and see how this all wears. But thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, and if you'd like to see more from me, click that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time.